The sales guys are saying that the leads they're given are crap. And the marketing guys are telling the sales guy, no, you're just not working the leads. Like, that is the classic headbutting. It shows up other places, but I mean, a more ideal relationship, the marketing folks actually work with and see the sales guys as a resource, because they're the ones who are boots on the ground and actually see what works and what doesn't. And vice versa, the sales guys can lean into the marketing and go, hey guys,
You didn't start a business to put out fires, but here you are, holding the extinguisher. Business isn't theory, it's pressure, late nights, tight margins, the thing that keeps breaking no matter how many times you fix it. When the room's on fire, the amateurs shout, the pros stay calm. That's the Fixers and Founders way. Part discipline, part rebellion. We walk into broken systems, find the pulse, and make it run clean. Because calm isn't weakness. Calm is a strategy. We're operators, builders, problem solvers. Born from the grind. Built for the builders. Join us now as we chat with Fixers and Founders just like you. Let's jump in.
Welcome to Fixers and Founders, where vision meets velocity. I'm Tony.
I'm Forrest.
If your business needs more leads, better sales, stronger referrals, clearer messaging, and a growth system that actually compounds, this one's going to be useful. Because most founders know they need marketing. Most know they need sales. Most know they need networking. But knowing it and doing it consistently are two very different things. Today's guest, Brian Petro, lives right at that intersection. He's a fractional chief marketing officer and chief revenue officer, founder of Bright Productions, a Google certified partner, and a self-described marketing guy who loves sales. He's worked with hundreds of brands across B2B and B2C, from Fortune 500s to startups, and helped guide Bubby's Fine Foods from roughly $2 million in annual sales to $30 million plus over a 20-year relationship. He also helps professionals systematize networking so introductions and referrals become a repeatable engine instead of an occasional accident. If your growth depends too much on random effort and not enough on repeatable systems, this conversation is for you. I'm Tony.
Forrest.
And this is Fixers and Founders. Let's get it done.
Great to have you on. You describe yourself as a marketing guy who loves sales. What pulled you toward the space between marketing, revenue, and relationships?
I think certainly sales can be learned, but a lot of times it's just in your blood or it's not. So, although I am thoroughly 100%, 30 years into a marketing career, I constantly get pulled back to the sales side because, well, honestly, most marketing people are terrified of sales. They don't like it. They don't know what to do with it. They're really glad somebody else is doing it. There's a lot of finger pointing between sales and marketing. To be a marketing person who understands salespeople, sales, and thinks of them as like part of their tribe is a unique identifier that I need to hang on to.
Yeah, and like you said, most marketing people don't like sales, so it's rare to have that combination. So you're in a good spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, double trouble. Brian, you talk a lot about turning limited marketing resources into outsized results. What does that look like in practice for a growing business?
Well, obviously, it can vary a lot. I would say, although I've worked for some really big companies, I've worked more for mid and small companies, and they don't have a choice. They have to be scrappy and creative. So, for example, let's just throw out two different examples. You mentioned Bubby's Foods. So Bubby's is a pickle manufacturer, and they're not Vlasic.
Really good one.
Yeah, no, they're good stuff. Bubby means grandma in Yiddish.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Vlasic, not knocking their product, but frankly, big food in general, they don't need to have good marketing. They force sales through distribution. They buy shelf space and they put their product out there and it moves because it's right in front of your face. Whereas little guys, they have to be scrappy and interesting. So Bubby's, for example, I wish I could claim that I came up with their tagline. I didn't. my mentor did. Bubby's tagline. Now remember, Bubby is Yiddish for grandma. So their mascot is a Jewish grandmother. Their slogan is "Eat my pickles, wear clean underwear, marry a doctor." I mean, like, how scrappy and quirky and awesome is that? How un-AI is that? It's a beautiful thing. So we developed for them just a cult-like following. I mean, Bubby, who was a fictional character, got fan mail. It was a fun experience, and that was what we did. We had to do, social media and kind of guerrilla marketing stuff instead of the easy thing, which is just buy the shelf space. The other thing that I work on, frankly, a lot more now is working with solopreneurs, little fractionals, and consultants. It turns out that 99.9% of businesses in the United States are defined as small businesses by whatever, the census, the US government. And of that 99.9%, 4/5 of them, 80%, are solopreneurs. They don't have any employees. Mm-hmm. So you've got this just massive, massive, massive blue ocean of little solopreneurs that have very limited resources and need to do outreach to find clients and do business development. So I've had a lot of fun working with them on LinkedIn and coaching and helping them with mostly networking. I mean, they don't have the money to do traditional advertising, and honestly, it wouldn't work for them anyway.
All right.
So doing
we just
a lot
had this conversation.
Yeah, we have. So anyway, that's a short version. As far as like making little budgets go a long way, I work with people who don't have a choice.
Yeah. Got to do it. The small businesses, they are the backbone of the U.S. economy for sure.
Yeah,
so
that's
a lot of companies
fact.
It is, yeah.
Staggering stat.
A lot of companies treat marketing and sales like separate worlds. Where do you usually see that disconnect show up first?
Classic one is the sales guys are saying that the leads they're given are crap. And the marketing guys are telling the sales guy, no, you're just not working the leads. Like, that is the classic headbutting. It shows up other places, but I mean, a more ideal relationship, the marketing folks actually work with and see the sales guys as a resource, because they're the ones who are boots on the ground and actually see what works and what doesn't. And vice versa, the sales guys can lean into the marketing and go, hey guys, if you did X, Y, Z, or this is what I'm hearing, or, because they're the ones who actually know what's happening. I think both sides, probably their behaviors are informed by fear. That's the reason for the conflict, is that marketing's afraid that what they're doing isn't working and they're going to be defensive about it. Sales, whenever they don't hit their numbers or they don't hit whatever they want to hit, they want it to be somebody else's fault. It's very fear-driven.
Yeah, you're right about that, Brian. No question whatsoever. You have built a service around making networking consistent, repeatable. Why do so many professionals know they need to network but still fail to do it?
Discipline. That's what it comes down to.
I mean, fear. Yeah,
it is. It's a discipline thing. I mean, again, I work a lot with solopreneurs now, and the challenge is when they have no work, they're plenty motivated to go out and do whatever it takes to try to drum up work. But as soon as they have some paying gigs, then they're all excited about doing their paying gigs, and they hate sales anyway. So they'll use every excuse they can to not do it. So they do this roller coaster thing of like, I'm super busy and making a ton of money, and oh crap, I have no clients, I'm broke.
Yep.
So it's a discipline thing. And what I've seen is, now I'm a process-oriented guy, so this is just my default. But I look at it like, if you have a process that drives the machine, then especially one that there's levers and dials and things you can adjust and pull and change. It means if you get busy, sure, you can turn it down some, but it's still running. And a process will force you to deal with stuff coming through. There's things showing up on LinkedIn. There's emails coming in. There's things. So you will do those as opposed to having to not have a system and have a like to do every day saying, oh, I'm supposed to spend 30 minutes on such and such today going and looking at LinkedIn, which will never happen because there's always fires happening and things that are more important and clients who actually pay you dollars. So I think the solution to the discipline thing is to have a process that forces you to be systematic about it.
Brian, too, as you're talking about this, I find myself wondering, about definitions. I kind of get hung up on definitions of words. Sometimes you probably appreciate that. Maybe when someone hears the term networking, they have in their mind this sort of antiquated notion, they got to put on formal attire and go to this event and rub shoulders and hobnob. I mean, what does networking look like in a practical sense today?
There are so many different forms of it. And thank you so much for that question because I spend a lot of time dealing with networking. So there still is that. I mean, there still is like the Chamber of Commerce and you go in there and you shake some hands, whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, I do that. I don't do it to get business. And you'll find networking in general, I'm going to come back to this, but effective networking, you're not actually doing any sales at all.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is to give back to whatever community you're in. And then the side benefit is business. And so that's how it is at the chamber. I'm not trying to get business there, but that's just one type. Okay. So then you've got your other one, which is kind of your classic transactional group like BNI or something. Again, not taking a shot at BNI. I've never been a member of that, but most business people are familiar. You guys have heard of BNI, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That's very transactional, very kind of locked in. You will come to these meetings. You will have 2 leads for this. And there's nothing wrong with, again, we were just talking about the value of having a process. But that's how that works. And that also is kind of old school at this point. Again, nothing wrong with it. BNI's been around for a long time. Now, it's been around for a long time because it can work. So again, not taking shots at it. Another form of networking, and this one's new to me. I just joined this group like a month ago, which is actually monetized. It is so dialed in and transactional that everybody is set up with payment systems and commission based. And the whole networking group is 100% based on actually paying and receiving commissions. So theoretically, this group has like 500 people in it. You have 500 salespeople. It's new. I don't know what I think of it yet. It sounds interesting. We'll find out. So I'm not naming it by name yet, but I'll get back to you if I decide I like it. It's showing promise though. However, all of those are all kind of framed up and transactional and defined. Where I spend most of my time is non-transactional. It is getting on LinkedIn, meeting new people. And I say LinkedIn just because I live in the sticks. Okay. If I lived in the big city somewhere, I might be doing more impersonal things. There's nothing wrong with in person, but I don't have that option. I live a half hour from a freeway. So I get on LinkedIn because my services I can sell nationwide and I'll meet new people. And the goal, there's 2 goals in networking. Goal number 1, learn and be helpful and try to just give your expertise away. Just try to be a nice human being. And in my case, I spent 30 years learning everything that I know. I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. I've had all these people take me under their wing. I look at it as my moral requirement to go give away this information. Now, I also do it for work, so I'm certainly going to charge too. But in the networking mode, I'm giving it away. So that's goal number 1. Can I help this person and not help them in a transactional, I'm proving my worth, you should hire me. No, just help them. Because when you free yourself from the, I'm trying to get work, you're automatically authentic and people know it instantly. When they know you're not selling them, you're not pitching them, you're just like, hey, I've tried this. Don't do this. It was terrible. But this over here, this worked good. You ever tried that? Whatever it is. So that's goal number 1. Help the person. And ideally, in a good networking conversation, you set the table to have a topic of discussion that you know a lot about so you can actually be helpful. And goal number 2 is, and that whole conversation is free form. And it doesn't matter if it's in person or if it's on a Zoom call or direct messaging on LinkedIn, whatever. There's not a lot of framework other than, can I be helpful? But the last 30 seconds of the call is very much scripted for me. I'll revisit what I do. I'll say, hey, I really appreciate this call. Just to be clear, what I do is I help solopreneurs and fractionals and consultants with business development without sales. Do you know someone like that I could help? So I'm asking for a referral. That's the whole point. That's the connecting the dots. So we're not just doing this for fun. We're guiding this towards business. And I'm telling you, if you are a generous person who is knowledgeable and wants to help this person, and this whole call, this whole meeting, you've done that. When you get to the last 30 seconds and you ask them if they know someone else that you might be able to help, they will want to give you someone 100 of the time. They may not have someone, but they'll want to. So it was a win. So that's a sample of all kinds of different networking things that I do, all of which are important. One last thing about networking. I think every person, whether they're an entrepreneur or whether they have a normal B2 job, you should have a process-based networking plan forever until you retire. Because whatever you've got going, whether it's your own thing or you're working for somebody else, it's just a matter of time till you're going to need to do something else. So the idea of networking forever is, however you do it, you need to commit to it forever, I think.
Wise words, Brian. Thank you.
Your network is your net worth. That's
Yes. I've heard
many
that
people
one.
have said that. Yeah.
Yes, very true.
I didn't come up with it, but it sticks very well. So
And
you've
Forrest
helped
is a shining example of that, by the way. Forrest is a shining example of all of that. Believe me when I tell you.
Appreciate that. You helped guide brands through major growth and even exits. What role does marketing play in increasing the company value beyond just generating leads?
Oh, okay, that's a good one. So how do I put this? One of the big things that people who are less experienced in marketing miss. So we talked about like this tension between sales and marketing and arguing about leads and that kind of stuff. And there is a kind of short-term way of looking at marketing that ties it really close to sales. But generating leads and helping sales is actually only a piece of what marketing does. A really important part is helping the overall value of the company rise, building equity in the brand. Because if you're working with a company or brand that, hey, 5 years down the road, 1 year down the road, 10 years down the road, we're going to want to sell. Well, if I'm a private equity, whatever, investor that's looking at buying a company, why would I pay you for your company more than anyone else who has the same numbers? Okay, so let's just assume they all have the same numbers, but you want to sell your company for a premium. Well, the premium is the brand equity. It's the goodwill that it has. It's that people know of it. It's that people have a generally positive feel about it. And I have worked for multiple companies that have sold, who the owners have told me afterwards that a big role in getting the price that they got was the brand. Like they were specifically looking at the one example I'm thinking of right now. This was a private equity company that was buying a portfolio of companies all in the same industry. And they said, but we want one in our portfolio that's kind of like the well-known brand that gives, shine to our whole portfolio. And it's the one that everybody knows. It's the premium one that has the highest sale price, like per product. It's an expensive product. And, we spent years with this client developing that brand. So when they sold, they got multiples over what was the book value of the company because it was the premium brand in their category. So that's the piece. When people want to say marketing is a machine where I want to put in a nickel and get out a dime. Okay. Yes, that is a wonderful goal. But that's only part of what it does, is help run sales today, this week, this month, this year. It should be long-term enhancing the entire value of the company. And that's harder to measure. It's, again, the private equity guys, it's really funny. They pay attention a lot to that when they buy a company, but once they buy it, they have a real hard time. The number cruncher bean counters talking to the marketing people, where I'm saying this to them, and they're saying, yeah, but we already paid for that. We already have that. So now we're not willing to pay for that. So.
Yeah, as you're talking about this, Brian, what comes to mind to me is that perhaps the lead gen part of marketing is more the science and the brand development is more the art.
Good marketing is alchemy. It is the mix of science and art. So again, I can't claim ownership of that, but the phrase, putting that together and calling it alchemy, is a mentor of mine.
That's good stuff. But
he's really right. Yeah. And a wordsmith, if you couldn't tell. I honestly think the alchemy plays roles in both, but you're right. In general, marketing can be split between the fun, pretty storytelling, branding part and the crunchy numbers, spreadsheety, automaty part. And they both have their place. And certainly there are marketing people that lean more on one side, more on the other. I'm kind of weird because I kind of sit in the middle. I have some skills in both areas. That has both helped me and hurt me in my career, because there are definitely people who are way more creative than me. And there are people that are way better at the numbers. However, the good part is, as you go up in your career and you start doing more executive level stuff, you're supposed to be a Renaissance person who can oversee everything, and you're not expected to be the person who is the best at anything. If you're a good leader, you're hiring people who are better than you at everything.
So,
Brian, for the founder that has like a limited budget, limited time, needs traction fast, I may know where you'll go with this, what should they focus on first?
I would love to hear what you thought I was going to say.
I thought you were going to say just to network.
Well, sure, but that's not fast. Networking is absolutely, I describe networking as like playing the long game. Like,
it's chess, not checkers.
Yeah, don't expect to win now. Last wins are hard. I mean, like, okay, if you can find an obvious seam, the fast wins often are like you're spending money on ads that aren't producing. I've had plenty of clients where like I doubled their return on ad spend overnight by killing half their ads, because half their ads were doing nothing. So that's an easy one. Or I just had one, as a matter of fact, you just reshared something that I posted on LinkedIn, where I had a client who had a massive email list. This email list was almost 200,000 people on this list, and they were doing almost nothing with it. So we hooked them up with a company that this particular client is an e-commerce company. They use Shopify as their platform. And there are a couple different email vendors that specialize in really tightly integrating with Shopify for all the, suggestions and thank yous and rating stuff afterwards and abandoned carts and all that kind of stuff that they weren't doing. So again, overnight, we had a huge return. Frankly, though, you only get these like massive returns overnight when they're really blowing it in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when you get those. Other than that, you're usually looking for incremental additions. I'm not backing away from networking. I think that is the absolute best way to play the long game at any size. But it is a long game. It's not going to be a quick return.
Brian, we can't thank you enough for joining us here today. Before we head out and hopefully all enjoy our weekends, should any of these solopreneurs, fractionals, business owners, founders want to reach out to you to help them with their marketing and sales, what is the best way to reach you, Brian?
You know what? Probably the easiest thing is to email me. So specifically, who I'm reaching out to right now are fractionals and consultants who want help with their business development. That's the short version, and without sales, because I push it through networking. And Brian at brightproductions.com, BRIGHT productions with an S at the end.com.
Awesome.
Good deal. Well, a couple last questions before we head out. Outside of work, what's something you're quietly obsessed with that people might not expect?
Might not expect.
Is it energy
All
drinks,
right.
Brian?
You're definitely obsessed with the weather because I see it on the dry erase board.
No.
So,
I've been playing disc golf lately, which I really kind of
that-
like. I have twin boys that are 24 and they started playing it, and now I'm playing it some. I'm terrible at it, but it's fun.
That's good.
So I run in the mornings and I'm really slow. But today, I did my mile, 1.3 miles I was doing 10-minute, 15-second miles, which is terribly slow, but it's really hilly here. So that's what I tell myself. It's because of the hills. So I would
It's no
say
joke.
I'm
It is.
doing better with the running lately. So it's not, I don't know if that's expected or not, but there you go.
It's good stuff.
Way to go. One last question for you, Brian. What is one place, meal, or hobby that instantly puts you back into a good headspace?
You know, I moved to East Tennessee from Northern California about 4 years ago. And I am really happy here. And honestly, I get in a good headspace. I just like go out on my porch. I just walk
yeah.
on my porch. I can see the Smoky Mountains from my front porch. I did it today. I do it every day. I'm working in my basement. There's no windows. So I'll sit down here and then I'm like, okay, I got to get out of here. And I will go. I also am kind of compulsive about checking my mail for the same reason, just to go get outside. And it is gorgeous and I love it. And it instantly puts me in a good mood.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Well, that was Brian Petro. A reminder that growth doesn't happen by accident. It compounds through clear messaging, consistent relationships, and systems that keep working after the first burst of effort fades. From fractional CMO, CRO work to referral engines and brand building over decades, Brian's work shows that marketing and sales work best when they stop competing and start compounding. If your growth still depends on random follow-up, scattered outreach, or hoping the right lead shows up, rewind this one. I'm Forrest.
I'm Tony.
And this was Fixers and Founders.
Oh, my darlings, look at you. Still here with me till the end. That's how I know you're one of us. The fixers, the founders, the ones who build in the chaos and still manage to laugh through it. Drop a comment, share your sparks, and connect with each other. This is where the net weaving begins. Like, share, and subscribe to keep the fire blowing. Until next time.